Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to all the brilliant minds gathered here today.
A very good morning.
A very good morning to our respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, faculty members, students, and dear participants joining us
here in the auditorium by GMRE deemed to be university. First, I would like to invite my colleague and convener of the conference, Dr. K. Lakshman Rao, Head Computer Science and Engineering, to please come onto the dais. I request Shri to kindly present a bouquet to our convener as a token of our warm welcome. I respectfully invite our Dean R&D, Dr. K. Ravindranath, to please come onto the dais and occupy his chair. I request Ravati to kindly present a flower bouquet to our Dean R&D as a token of our warm welcome. I invite our Executive Dean, Dr. C.L.V. R.S.V. Prasad, to please come onto the dais and occupy the chair. I request Nikita to kindly present a flower bouquet to our chief guest. It is my distinct honor to invite Shri L.M. Lakshmamurthy Garu, Chief Operating Officer, GMR Varalakshmi Foundation, to kindly join our dignitaries on the dais. I request Tejaswini to kindly present a flower bouquet. I am equally privileged to invite Shri Ashwini Saxena Garu, Chief Executive Officer, GMR Varalakshmi Foundation, to please grace the dais. I request Shamala to kindly present a bouquet as a token of our warm welcome. May I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. J. Girish, to please come onto the dais and occupy the chair. I request Rohita to kindly present a flower bouquet and I cordially invite our guest of honor, Dr. V. Valli Kumari Garu, Dean R&D and Professor in Computer Science and Systems Engineering, Andhra University, to kindly grace the dais. I request Rajani to kindly present a flower bouquet. I respectfully invite our chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan Garu, Chief Technology Officer, IIT Madras, Pravartak Technologies Foundation, to please come onto the dais and occupy the chair. I request Tejaswari to kindly present a flower bouquet to the chief guest as a token of our warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome all our dignitaries once again with a resounding round of applause. Thank you. Over the next 2 days, we will delve deeply into how artificial intelligence can drive sustainable solutions across various engineering and scientific domains. To commence this auspicious gathering, we shall begin by invoking the blessings of the Almighty. I humbly request all the dignitaries on the dais to step forward for lighting of the lamp and start the invocation. Now I earnestly request everyone to rise up for the prayer song.
गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्त्वायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
Thank you. To formally welcome our esteemed gathering, I would like to invite my fellow convener, Dr. K. Lakshman Rao, to deliver the welcome address for this conference.
Respected Chief Guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan, CTO IIT Madras, Pravartak Technologies Foundation. Guest of Honor, Dr. V. Valli Kumari, Dean R&D and Professor in CSC, Andhra University. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. J. Girish Garu. Shri Aswini Saxena, CEO, GMR VF. Shri L.M. Lakshmanamurthy, COO, GMR VF. Executive Dean, Dr. CLV RSV Prasad, Sir. Dean R&D, Dr. Ravindranath K. My fellow convener, Dr. K. Santarao. Respected Deans, Heads of Departments, Faculty Members, Distinguished Delegates, Researchers, Participants, Students, Members of the Organizing Committee, technical and administrative teams, and representatives of the press and electronic media. A very good morning to all of you. It gives me an immense pleasure to warmly welcome you to the second international conference on AI-powered technology integration for sustainability, AIPTS 2026, being organized by GMRIT deemed to be university. It is indeed an honor for us to host this prestigious international event in the hybrid mode and to bring together eminent academicians, researchers, industry professionals, and young scholars from different parts of the country and abroad. The theme of this conference is both timely and significant: artificial intelligence when integrated with science, engineering, renewable energy, and emerging technologies such as quantum computing has the potential to transform the way we address complex environmental, industrial, and societal challenges. Through this conference, we aim to promote meaningful discussions, encourage interdisciplinary research, and inspire innovative solutions for sustainable development. I am delighted to share that AIPTS 2026 received an encouraging response with a total of 313 research articles submitted for consideration. After a rigorous peer review process, 151 papers were accepted for presentation and publication in the AIP conference proceedings indexed by Scoopers and Web of Science, resulting in an acceptance rate of approximately 48%. This reflects both the strong interest in the conference theme and the high quality standards maintained throughout the review process. The profile of submissions further highlights the broad institutional and geographical research of AIPTS 2026. The submitted research also reflects highly interdisciplinary character. Energy, environment, and sustainability formed a large research area accounting for 20% of the papers, and followed by healthcare and biomedical applications at 17 to 80%. Core artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science constituted another major area with 15%. Together, these contributions demonstrates how researchers are applying advanced technologies to address challenges in clean energy, environmental protection, healthcare, agriculture, intelligent transportation, cybersecurity, and smart systems. The conference has also made a meaningful contribution towards SDG. The strongest contribution was towards SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, represented with 31% of the papers, followed by SDG 3, good health and well-being at 17%. Significant contributions were also observed towards SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and SDG 2, zero hunger, confirming the conference commitment to technology-driven sustainable development. I place on record my sincere appreciation to all the reviewers for their valuable time, scholarly inputs, and dedicated efforts. Their careful assessment has been instrumental in maintaining the academic integrity and quality of this conference. Over the next 2 days, the conference will include keynote lectures by our distinguished experts, including Shri Mohan Satyaranjan garu, Dr. V. Valli Kumari garu, Dr. T. Pavan Kumar garu. In addition, technical presentations will be conducted under 3 major tracks: environment and renewable energies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum applications, and science and engineering technology. These sessions were designed to facilitate knowledge exchange, constructive interaction, and further collaboration among participants. We sincerely hope that AIPTS 2026 will serve as a vibrant platform for academicians, industry professionals, research scholars, and students to present their work, exchange ideas, build networks, and identify new directions for research and innovation. As we begin this 2-day academic journey, I encourage all participants to engage actively in the keynote lectures, technical sessions, and discussions. Let us use this opportunity to share knowledge, build meaningful collaborations, and contribute collectively towards a smarter and more sustainable future powered by AI, intelligence, science, engineering, and technology. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to all of you. I wish AIPTS 2026 very success and hope that conference will be intellectually enriching, professionally rewarding, and truly memorable for everyone. I thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for setting such a welcoming and inspiring tone for the 2 days ahead. To give us a comprehensive overview of what we can expect from the conference, I now invite our Dean R&D, Dr. Ravindranath Garu, to present his highlights of the AIPTS 2026.
Respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, dignitaries, various participants from various parts of the globe participating in person and participating in online, respected deans, HODs, faculty members, research scholars, and my dear students. A very good morning to one and all. A very good morning to one and all. Thank you. So it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to the second international conference on AI-powered technology integration for sustainability, AIPTIS 2026, organized by GMRIT deemed to be university. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan Garu, Chief Technical Officer, IITM Pravartak, and our guest of honor, Dr. Valli Kumari Garu, Dean Research and Development, Professor in Computer Science from Andhra University, for their immediate acceptance to grace the occasion of inaugural session of AIPTS 2026 and to deliver a keynote lecture. So from the last 4 months, the heroes of this event, the conveners, Dr. K. Lakshman Rao Garu and Dr. K. Shanta Rao Garu, along with their organizing committee, they worked a lot from early morning 2 o'clock to up to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. They sent lots of messages. And after the communication about the conference, we have received a tremendous response from the participants, as mentioned by Dr. K. Lakshman Rao Garu. We received a total of 313, a good number of articles for the consideration, and after rigorous double-blind review process, a 48% of articles, around 151 articles have been accepted for presentation and recommended for publication in the reputed American Institute of Physics conference proceedings, indexed in Scopus. So in 2024, we had a first international conference in our campus with a great experience, with lots of deliberations and collaborations. There we have published 124 articles within less than 11 months, which are indexed in Scopus. With that inspiration and motivation, our leadership, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Garu, Dr. J. Girish Garu, and our Executive Dean, Dr. Prasad Garu, encouraged us for conducting this conference, and we are planning to conduct at least one international conference from the next academic year onwards. And now lots of transformation is happening from fundamental research to a product-based research. 3-4 decades back, people are focusing on fundamental research, the concept of fundamentals. Now we are transforming the results of fundamental research into a product-based research. That is the reason Central Government of India and State Government of Andhra Pradesh, they are mainly focusing on innovation conversion of ideas into products. For that reason, the governments are providing lots of funding to encourage the ideas of students and faculty. In that context, from the last 2 years, GMRIT deemed to be university has received a worth of 2 crores in the form of the establishment of Idea Lab and for the establishment of UG Quantum Technology Laboratories. It's a tremendous remark for GMRIT deemed to be university, for faculty and students. We are pioneering towards research and innovation. So with these few words, I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations to the conveners and organizing committee for such a beautiful arrangement, and I am wishing a great success for the next 2 days. We have good number of keynote sessions are there, and parallel tracks are going to happen in various locations. So definitely it would be a good transformation of knowledge for all the participants, students, research fellows, and we hope a positive collaborations will happen in the coming future. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the rich academic and technical discourse lined up for us. Moving forward, it is an honor to invite Dr. CLV RSV Prasad, Executive Dean of GMRIT, to address the gathering and share his insights.
Today's chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan ji, guest of honor, Professor Valli Kumari garu, Vice Chancellor Shri Girish garu, CEO of GMR Lakshmi Foundation, Saxena ji, Lakshmurthy garu, CEO, conveners, Dean R&D, other colleagues of the dais, participants attending in person and participants attending online, faculty members and my dear students. A very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank AIP, American Institute of Physics, for collaborating with GMR Institute of Technology deemed to be university for conducting or organizing this international conference second time. The first edition happened, maybe it is a coincidence, in 24 July 4th and 5th. July 4th and 5th are the dates where we had 2 years back, almost the same dates we are having after 2 years. And in fact, for organizing any international conference with quality publications and all, it takes minimum 2 years, because for all the publications to get screened out and get publication, it takes almost 18 months from the day. So again, to start the cycle, we need minimum 24 months. So I think that was the spirit behind having this program every 2 years, and I thank AIP for that, continuing the association with GMRIT. And moving on to the team here, I think they have done an extremely good job, very exciting moments they had, and with the learnings what they had in the last edition, the first edition. So with the learnings, I think now this second edition of this conference is going to be more effective, where it will becoming a very enabled platform for all the researchers, academicians and for the students to share their thoughts, ideas, and also to collaborate for the research collaboration and also for innovation. And we have a great person from IIT Pravartak, Mr. Mohan ji, where he is a technology person, head for the Pravartak, and I'm sure that he will give insights how to transform from research to innovation. Most of the academicians focus on fundamental research, but moving on, taking on to the direction of what country is looking at, self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that will happen only when our fundamental research gets transformed into product research. Unless otherwise the students and faculty move on in getting into this product research, self-reliance doesn't come. That is one. And the other one is talking about technology integration for sustainability. The title is very generic, and whatever you say, it comes under this title. Technology integration for sustainability. And one more point is, you don't expect even a day without AI now. You don't expect even an hour of your duty or of your your learning or time or your serving time or whatever it is. There's nothing like without AI. So now, all these technology integrations for sustainability, if it is being powered with AI, obviously it ends up in more effectiveness. We all have a stigma that AI is going to completely override the human ability. That will never happen. As far as you drive AI need to be driven by you. If you drive AI, definitely it will be under your control. And if you are being driven, you are lost in the game. So AI is only an enabler which makes your job more easy, and it takes the less time for accomplishments. People need to understand that it is not anything like a big a negative aspect to be thought about. And it is getting integrated with all the functional core areas. Name any area for that matter, starting from your agriculture, manufacturing, health, finance, education, whatnot. Everywhere we have got AI integration. And thanks to COVID made us learn several new things. And if COVID had not come, all the technology developments, what is that we had here for a country like India, it would have taken not less than 10 years. That made us to think, and that made us to realize the importance of this technology integration. And then this is the the state where we are right now is because of that. All the online platforms, it is for your meeting platforms or for your learning platforms. Now again, they are all AI powered. In fact, we experienced the difficulty of conducting online examinations during COVID. Now everything is done by AI. Everything is done by AI. So we had a lot of things learning out of that, and finally we have solutions for that. So with that speed of influence, I am very sure that AI power will always have, AI power is like a muscle power, I mean to say that. It will always have influence on all your technology integrations. And I request all the faculty members to participate, collaborate, and participate in all the Q&A sessions for all the presentations. And I request all the authors to be available in all the presentations, because this is what point most of the times it happens. We have several sessions in the program, and who are the audience there? Only the authors. So my sincere request to all the authors of 150 papers to ensure that they are available and get and carry the takeaway of all these presentations. So with these few words, I would like to again compliment and congratulate all the organizing team for taking this, doing this good job. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. To share his invaluable insights with us, I respectfully invite Shri L.M. Lakshmurthy, Chief Operating Officer, GMRVF, to please address the gathering.
Today's chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan ji, the guest of honor, Dr. Valli Kumari garu, Dr. Girish, Dr. Saxena ji, Dr. Prasad, convener and Dr. Ravindranath, R&D Dean, the deans, HODs, faculties, and participants coming from other colleges, and my dear students, very good morning to all of you. I welcome each one of you for this 2 days international conference on AI powered technology integration for sustainability. As Dr. Prasad was mentioning that this is a second in line we're doing, because first conference also we got a very good response. And with the presentation and that statistics given by the Dean Ravindranath, it shows how popular this conference is becoming with the kind of response we got, more than 300 applicants across the globe. And preparing a paper is not that easy, because it involves a lot of hard work, research and all. And it shows how keen today's faculty are focused more on the research oriented topics, because that is going to help. That is what is required in today's event world. First, let me also compliment the whole team for working hard and making this event happen. And now today's topic is also very relevant and is also apt in era of where AI is transforming every sector. AI has the potential to optimize resources, reduce the waste, and also creative, innovative solutions. And this kind of a conferences will provide a platform for all the faculty and the students to share, learn from others in this cutting technology era. I request all our students who are also present here to attend all these presentations, so that this is a good opportunity for them to listen to the research happening and presentations you made. That will also help them and inspire them and motivate them to focus more on research going forward. With these few words, I would like to once again compliment the whole team for organizing this seminar and wish the conference all the success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Now it is our absolute honor to invite Shri Ashwini Saxena, Chief Executive Officer, GMRVF, to share his thoughts and vision with our audience. Sir, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning everyone. I would like to address all of you on the dais and off the dais as our partners in the process of development, because I think it is the development of humanity, development of this country which binds us together as a common objective. So my fellow development partners, good morning to all of you. It's a momentous occasion for me to be here with all of you. And I think the conference planned today is on a very apt subject. My opening thought is that AI is a sustainability challenge for us, especially for an energy-starved and water-starved country like India. But at the same time, it is one of the strongest tools at the hands of humanity to solve a lot of problems also related to sustainability. And I think it's the young engineers of tomorrow who are sitting here who are going to decide which side is going to win. Sustainability or just AI, which is going to guzzle a lot of water and energy. AI consumes 10 to 15 times more energy. It is invisible, but its footprint as water footprint, as its energy footprint is very much visible. But at the same time, AI would also provide a lot of solutions, and solutions which are important for humanity to improve efficiency, to improve energy access, to improve agriculture. Dr. Prasad touched upon it, making more efficient transportation systems, and the list goes on. I mean, it's a tool which is extremely powerful, and it has to be harnessed by us for the betterment of this world. How we do that, I think that's the question which I'm sure this 2-day conference is going to address and answer, at least attempt some answers at that. So therefore, AI should not be looked at just as a powerful tool. This is the second thought that I want to leave with all of you, is that we also need to see how inclusive AI can we have, how more responsible AI can we have, how more efficient AI can we have, how can it be more gender inclusive as an AI tool, because technology per se is an enabler, it's an equalizer, and how we harness that tool is completely up to us. And it has got immense solutions also. I've been talking about the water footprint and the energy footprint, etc., but at the same time it can also be a very powerful tool. It can help in predicting solar generation in energy space. It can help us cut out transmission losses by making more efficient grid solutions, and so on and so forth. It can have simple but effective solutions. Already some of those solutions are already there in the market for healthcare, especially in the rural areas where we operate in Rajam, for example. So therefore, it is important for us, and I would leave this with Dr. Ravinath, Dr. Girish, and other people who are managing this conference, to delve upon how AI can be more ethical, how AI can be more responsible, inclusive, and the future engineers who are sitting here need to think, this is my last thought process, that we need to think that how efficient AI model are you going to develop? Is it going to be just a more cumbersome, more complex, technically very high sounding AI model, or would it be more energy efficient, more sustainable? And so therefore the future would lie with the engineers, AI managers, who are going to come up with a most efficient, effective solution with the least amount of footprint in all ways, in all manners. So I wish best of luck to all of you, all the presenters, the listeners. You touched upon the listeners to be there. I believe listening itself is going to be a big takeaway for all of you, for 150 odd papers being presented. So I compliment each one of you who have contributed to the papers, and also to those who have contributed to the listening during this 2-day conference. All the best to all of you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are truly grateful for your profound address, mainly stressing on the ethics while using AI, and for gracing this occasion. We are privileged to have our guiding force of our institution with us today. I respectfully invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. J. Girish, to share his vision and address the audience.
Today's chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan ji, Chief Technology Officer, IITM Pravartak. Thank you, sir, for visiting our campus. Professor Valli Kumari garu, Dean Research and Development, Andhra University. I think both of our guests are very distinguished guests. Satyaranjan ji has more than 45 years of experience in technology transformation, very eminent person. Professor Valli Kumari madam is a great teacher, great researcher, and works for students, great administrator as well. And Shri Saxena ji, our CEO, GMRVF, Shri Lakshnamurthy garu, Dr. Prasad garu, Dr. Ravindranath garu, conference conveners, Lakshman Rao garu, then our all the senior leadership team, my colleagues, faculty members, staff, my dear young students, researchers, and those who are joining us through online. I hope at least 100 researchers may be there through online. Good morning to you all. And it is a great conference, and the themes, the tracks are very different, but all tracks converges. The track one, environment and renewable energy. So then we have AML, quantum. Then we have science, engineering and technology. As we are discussing, I think some of you are looking at your mobile. So the kind of digitization happened is enormous. Now at India, we have about 100 crores people connected with the internet. It was about 10 to 13 crores some 10 years back. You see the quantum of digitization happened. See, 100 crores means it's a huge. What it means? Everyone is connected. Everything is happening through technology. Huge data conservation. Huge data is being collected. More and more data centers are happening. Correct? The kind of data centers what we have, let us say we have about 5 gigawatt data center. Now by 2035 we are looking at 15 gigawatt data center. 15 gigawatt data center means one of the state power supply. Entire state can consume. India, we are looking at present the installed energy is about 500 gigawatt energy, which we need at least to double. 1000 gigawatt energy is required. How do we do? The solar has hardly about 20 to 25% capacity, correct? Which can convert 20 to 25%, not more than that, 18% precisely. And wind has its own limitation, because the basic wind speed what we get is precisely Kanyakumari. That is where most of the 80% of the windmills were installed. Then we have the great opportunity. The countries, most of the countries like US, if you look at Europe, they're spending billions and billions on the fusion technology. Fusion is different from hydrogen. It is different from slightly nuclear, the way it operates, because that gives a sustainable energy. Enormous energy is possible through the fusion. But that is where, see, the integration of technology happen. We have seen 20th century very subject specific specialization, but 21st century we are experiencing convergence. Everything is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. If you look at a data center, that's what Satyaranjan Mohanji is talking about, Visakhapatnam. Yesterday we visited, myself, Saksayanaji, Lakshmurti Garu, the great puja at our first Greenfield International Airport, Bhogapuram. Okay, the kind of airport that is being constructed by our group chairman, Shri Rao Garu. It's a magnificent airport which was designed with the nature. The kind of wind speed it gets affected, it is automatically adjusted the architecture of the airport. So the kind of the technology cannot be just think about AI. Okay, AI is a tool. Students especially, you should not look for answers with your chat GPT. Rather you should look for learning, how you can best learn. You should use technology for learning to clear your doubts. So what it is, the future is going to be a very, very fast phase. The way we have developed now, but we are without internet. Can you be without mobile? Maybe we need to keep a competition. Who can be without mobile for 24 hours or 72 hours, something like that, right? We are so much, the average screening time of a mobile is 7.5 hours per day. This is a scientific research. 7 hours. If you include your laptop and all, I think whenever we are in office, we have laptop in front of us. The screening time has gone significantly. So when it comes to as a teacher, when we do research, first we have to do research for teaching. because our syllabus, each discipline have at least 50 lifetime researchers who contributed for the development of the curriculum. Because science and technology, especially when we are studying engineering, the entire education, the syllabus, the content is based upon the researchers, the formulas, the theorems, mathematics, the linear algebra, the matrices, what we studied, that is much more important. Now, if you look at Elon Musk or get professors, they are talking more about learning fundamentals than AI. Because AI we can use, anybody can use. Engineering is not required to use AI, correct? Because eventually AI or anything technology comes to reach to the user base. How to serve the people, how to connect the people. That is the whole concept of technology, to serve the people, to improve our day-to-day life easy, and how to improve our efficiency. But what endures throughout our life is the fundamentals. The technology applications keep changing. If you are very strong in fundamentals, agile, lifelong learners, your knowledge, you will stay for another 8 years of your professional life. Let us say 100 years if you live, you can be there for another 80 years or 60 years. Because whatever we talk today, the quantum, AML, deeply rooted 100 years, 200 years, 300 years back, mathematics, physics, chemistry, sciences. The quantum, the first Nobel laureate was 100 years back, 1918. Banks received the first Nobel. The second Nobel is, I think, Einstein received the second Nobel. There are a series of 5 Nobel Prizes between 1918 to 1930. Now we are seeing the applications. Now we are talking about quantum. Because any technology emerges from the fundamentals. Fundamentals will never change. Only if you understand how bits works in computer, then you can look into the qubits in quantum, correct? You should understand how 0 and 1 works. Then you can understand how qubits works. Because we found 0 and 1 has the limitations. I am talking about in terms of computers. Of course, there are many other physics involved in the quantum development. But once if you understand the limitations and constraints of 0, 1, the bits, then you feel that it is not good enough to explore. Then we have to look into the qubits. Same thing in fusion technology. Fusion technology is the most critical integrated science and technology now. We need mechanical engineers, we need structural engineers, we need electronics people, we need electrical people, we need everyone. Physics, plasma, how do we operate plasma which operates as millions of degrees of temperature? How do you do simulations? But this is what future going to be. But apart from all technology, now we are going back to the fundamental concepts. You must be very thorough in mathematics, you must be very thorough in physics, chemistry, and all of our teachers should focus. We should excite the students with the huge applications. What is their future going to be? What are the applications in science and technology? Then at least we need to have few students should come to the teaching profession, because we don't have good teachers now. Nobody is coming. Everyone wanted to go to some software engineering, some jobs, but the country badly needed very good teachers are required and very good researchers are required. Therefore, it is at least I think most of you will go for workforce, I am sure 90%, but at least 10% students we need to create knowledge wealth. Knowledge creation and wealth creation is very important. That is what I think Satyaranjan ji also knows. The Prime Minister's interest is indigenously develop science and technology. Because during these wars and all, you saw who has the edge, who has the technology. So therefore we need to have very good scientific temperament among the students, or at least few of you should choose the path to reach into the teaching, to reach into the research and develop knowledge creation, the wealth creation through knowledge. Okay. With these few words, I congratulate all of you, all the conveners
for this great conference, 2 days conference. And but the center of research, at least for teachers, should be the students. I think that we should never forget. All knowledge, more and more we do research, more and more we understand fundamentals. We understand more compared to the students because we read repeatedly. That is the only thing. Otherwise, our knowledge is not better than the students. So therefore, more and more you do research, you understand more and more fundamentals, try to inspire the students. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking address and inspiring vision for a sustainable technology-driven future. It's now time to hear from our distinguished Chief Guest of Honor for today's inaugural. So we are exceptionally fortunate to have with us Dr. V. Valli Kumari Garu, Dean R&D and Professor in CS and SC at Andhra University. So before inviting him, I would like to introduce the Guest of Honor. It is my distinct privilege to introduce our esteemed Guest of Honor, Professor V. Valli Kumari Garu, who is a distinct academic researcher and administrator with more than 33 years of exemplary experience in higher education. She is currently serving as a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Systems Engineering and Dean Research and Development at Andhra University. Renowned for her visionary leadership, she has played a pivotal role in strengthening academic excellence, research, innovation, and institutional development. Throughout her illustrious career, Professor Valli Kumari Garu has held several prestigious leadership positions, including Chief Executive Officer of the Andhra Pradesh Innovation Society, APIS, and Vice Chairman of the Andhra Pradesh State Council for Higher Education. She has spearheaded transformative initiatives in higher education reforms, digital governance, startup promotion, and innovation ecosystems, significantly contributing to the advancement of academic and technological excellence across the state. An accomplished researcher and inspiring mentor, Professor V. Valli Kumari Garu has published over 250 research papers, guided numerous doctoral scholars, and led several nationally significant projects in artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber security, data privacy, and network security. A recipient of the Andhra Pradesh State Best Teacher Award in the year 2025 and several other distinguished honors, she continues to inspire the academic community throughout her outstanding contributions to research, innovation, and professional excellence. Now I would like to request our Guest of Honor, Professor V. Valli Kumari Garu, to deliver her message.
Thank you. Thank you for that very high regards in the process of introduction. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Shri J. Girish Garu, Ashwini ji, Mohan Satyaranjan ji, Prasad Garu, and all other seated on the dais, all my fellow teachers, participants in the conference, and dear students. Good morning, everyone. And as we gather here in the northeast coast of Andhra Pradesh, people fondly call Uttarandhra, on this coastline of the expanse of Bay of Bengal. There is a timeline of history evolving at this place. How do you associate this place with the history? Yeah? So the world-changing, world-altering Kalinga War is somewhere around here. How many of you are aware of this? Yeah? And that has led to Buddhist movement. Do you know this? Have you visited the Buddhist monuments or the stupas rather here? Not yet? Sir, you have to arrange a tour for them. It all happened here. Okay? Very close by, in the vicinity of Srikakulam. And after the world-altering Kalinga War and the start of the Buddhist movement, we also have scientific, traditional knowledge built around this place. The Ganga kings, they're known for their, temple building activities. Very popular kings, totally devoted to construction of temples. The Sun Temple, and it's not a mere temple of devotion or worship, it's beyond that. It has a great scientific vigor. It talks about the sun and different, technologies associated with that power of cosmos and stuff. That all started here. And what else? The Kalinga ships, they're very popular. It was international travel those days. So people used to travel far and wide to Southeast Asia through those ships. And shipbuilding is said to be an art in India. People from far and wide used to come to India to learn about shipbuilding. Okay? And from those very popular international traveling ships, now we are all sent to the Bhogapuram International Airport. Now world will be connected to this place. So it will be all international flights, from ships to flights. And culturally, whatever the regal courts or the royal patronage, the education initiatives that were taken up by the Vijayanagara Rajas, all that cultural activities, all those schools and colleges that they have built in this area catered to the needs of, several people, common people in this part of Andhra Pradesh. And now the lead is taken by the technological, and educationally very advanced, initiatives being taken by the education champions, the GMRIT, under the stewardship of GMRG. So the most modern classrooms are a kind of a learning atmosphere. The setup like this, you can look through Vijayanagaram and Srikakulam districts, can only be found in this campus. Well, it's not an exaggeration. You can visit a few colleges in Vijayanagaram and Srikakulam, and you'll all by yourself come to the same decision as mine.
Well, I'm associated
with your campus through interaction with students.
A few people
come to me as interns.
Last 3
years or so, people have been coming to me.
And my fellow teachers
as well in my department.
But this year,
through my project, one of the interns, I could pay a small amount though, 20,000 rupees for that 2 months of work that he did with me. And well, for a student, 20,000 means a lot. Okay? While learning. But yeah, I'm happy the quality of work that the students do with us is really very, above par with any centrally funded institution student. A few of these centrally funded institutions as well. I'm also a couple of times involved in the syllabus framing, and I see how much vigor the teachers, how much effort the teachers put in, and how much freedom the management gives in incorporating, all the contemporary subjects or certain curricula revisions that are as and when required, they do. They are almost in sync with the latest happenings. So the latest initiatives taken by the governments, be it state or the central. And that is visible with the quantum teaching lab that they acquired. Only 7 labs across the state that were sanctioned, and one is your institution. Only 23 across the country. But then with quantum lab, though you got it, okay, even me, some 3-4 years ago, I started reading out what quantum is, because everyone in most of the documents I was reading, people were saying AI is the future, quantum will beat cybersecurity, lots of stuff. So because I was, pursuing research in cybersecurity, that post-quantum, all these RSA or, all these encryption, decryption algorithms that we use will fail is what the articles say. So then I thought, what is this quantum? But the word quantum, I just knew time quantum in round robin, nothing else. You know it, right? But then when I started reading, it's all about quantum physics. It's all about physics. So I'm so scared of physics in intermediate. I thought, let me finish my maths, physics, chemistry, MSET. Physics was the subject which I used to get the less marks. But we have to qualify that set. Somehow I ended up in BTech ECE. Again, physics was back in EMF theory, whatnot, Somehow got through. I said, okay, this is all. Now I am into computer science. Look, the world is round. I have to study physics again. So don't forget your fundamentals, as Girishji was just saying. So there is more. It's not like, you finish something, you're specialized in something and you don't require the other subjects. No. So all the subjects are important. Understanding the subject is important, then becoming an expert in it. You can always explore for solving a particular problem further, but you have to be good at all fundamentals. Well, so that quantum AI, as I have seen in the tracks, the conference committee has very well taken up very advanced topics. They're very relevant to today's research and applications area. And the participants here, I'm sure with the deliberations, you'll have a lot of takeaways and you'll be benefited with it. And students, you're very lucky enough that your college has given you a platform to listen to all the speakers, which rarely other colleges give. Okay? Don't miss any lecture. You like it or not, just listen to it. Someday you'll get benefited with something which you have already listened. So with this, I thank the management for giving me this opportunity, and I wish all the best to the conference organizers and the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for those enlightening words and reminding the history of our Uttaraandhra, highlighting how transportation transformed the livelihood of the people of this region, and also remembering your journey in your various domains of the engineering fields. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at the most awaited segment of our inaugural function. So now we are deeply honored to welcome our chief guest. Before welcoming him, I would like to introduce the chief guest here. So, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan sir, an eminent technology leader, distinguished academician and accomplished innovator, who currently serves as the Chief Technology Officer of IIT Madras Pravartak Technology Foundation. He also holds the prestigious position of Professor of Practice and Chief Solution Architect of IIT Jammu. With an illustrious professional journey spanning of over 35 years across industry and academia. Driven by a passion for innovation, Mr. Mohan Satyaranjan sir founded Takernal Energy in Bengaluru in 2017 to advance blockchain-enabled energy assist management. Under his visionary leadership, the company has developed cutting-edge solutions in electric mobility and energy storage, including LEV chargers, battery management systems, connectivity solutions, battery swapping and battery as a service BAS platforms, EVAS intelligent connectivity solutions, and grid connected scalable distributed energy storage solutions. His pioneering contributions also extend to adaptive control systems, neural network based control, medical image processing, and blockchain technologies. He built $1 billion+ a year production lines from scratch at both Cisco networks. He has held positions at NetApp, Juniper, and Cisco Systems in past. Earlier at Motorola role in developing world's first GPRS capable subscriber device. In the 80s, Mohan sir used to work in the area of adaptive of the earliest neural networks. Mohan sir has also of medical image processing, tomography and related topics, reconstruction from incomplete data and blockchain. He obtained his bachelor's and master's degree in electronics and electrical engineering from the Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore. He underwent an executive management course in the Graduate School of Business, Stanford University. He is a senior member of the IEEE. He has published in prestigious technical journals and presented papers at various national and international conferences regularly. It is my privilege to respectfully request Shri Mohan Satyaranjan sir to address the distinguished gathering and share his inspiring message with us on this memorable occasion.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning to everybody. We will talk about AI and sustainability later again, so I will not spend any time on that at this point of time. I just wanted to share few very other important things first. Congratulations to all of you on becoming a Dean to be University, because that gives you a kind of autonomy that is needed at this point of time, and hopefully that autonomy will be utilized to the fullest extent. Now, Chandrababu Naidu Garu became Chief Minister on June 12th, 3 years ago, right? And one of the first things that he did after becoming Chief Minister was contact IIT Madras. You must have seen there were a lot of newspaper reports of him coming to IIT Madras within 10 days of being sworn in, and so our partnership with Andhra Pradesh government started at that time. and some of the early work that I also did. I mean, the cable landing system that is coming up at Rishikonda, and all the data centers that we are talking about. In June 2024, I had written that vision paper, and there are additional things that are very important and so I will talk about the additional things that you should know, because I'm sure you know it better than me. Some of you probably are already working on those areas, but still, for a larger audience, I think it's my duty to remind. It's as ma'am was talking about the state and its history and its strengths and all that. Let me not repeat those, but talk about the other important aspects of it. You have 1,100 kilometers of tropical coastline, and by the international law, now very soon up to 500 kilometers from the coastline is our exclusive economic zone, EEZ, right? So you have something like 500 kilometers in 2,000 kilometers, 5 lakh square kilometers of additional area that nobody is looking at except fishing and maybe shipping and all that. Think about what else can be done there, right? I mean, it's an opportunity. It's an asset that is underutilized. I will leave it at that at this point of time. Space is going to be, apart from AI and quantum and everything else, the biggest area of transformation is space. And unfortunately, India is losing the edge that it had. ISRO used to be great, but as a country now, we are lagging behind. You know that Elon Musk's Starlink already has about 20,000 satellites, and he is going to have a few lakh satellites eventually. Okay, then his competition all put together, in 5 years you will have something like 5 lakh low Earth orbit satellites with average lifespan of 4 years. So what that means is every year you will have 1 lakh plus satellites being relaunched just to keep those number of satellites in the constellation, and there will be additional needs, etc. Now, satellites are always launched from the East Coast, okay? And now it is open for private sector. It is no longer a government thing. So that's another big area of opportunity that people are not looking at, and unfortunately that part the government also has not prioritized yet. But that's one area. So we don't need to depend on the government, right? The opportunity is there. Laws have changed. It has been opened up for private sector. Nothing prevents you from grabbing that opportunity, taking it further. I mean, maybe Chapuram or somewhere you can have another launch site and the complete ecosystem, support ecosystem here, because that's going to be another game-changing, life-changing kind of initiative. Okay, so and there are many more. I mean, energy. When you have this 1,000-kilometer coastline, you have all kinds of energy. We are a tropical nation. Our oceans have highest amount of energy per square meter, per square kilometer. What you say? We get the sun rays with highest amount of energy being close to the equator, right? And that's a blessing too. And that's an opportunity, and that is one technology that we have to develop. India has to develop its own, because subtropical country does not have that kind of energy density, and if you try using that, you will not have the best results. So there are a lot of opportunities that are there that are unique to the state, and you should look at those also. I'll stop here because I have another slot and we are already running late. And of course, I can come back to talk about all this at some other time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for extraordinary words, highlighting the limitless opportunities in space open to private sector, and which enables our India to be self-resilient and self-reliant. To officially mark the academic announcement of this AIPTIS-2026, I request our chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan sir, to kindly release the conference proceedings CD and hand over to the other dignitaries on the dais.
Sir, ready, sir?
Now it's time to the felicitation of guests now. As a token of our profound gratitude, respect and appreciation, we will now proceed with the felicitation of our esteemed guests. I request our Vice Chancellor, Executive Dean, Dean R&D and Convener to kindly honor our Chief Guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan sir. I request Vice Chancellor, Executive Dean, Dean R&D and Convener to kindly honor our guest of honor, Dr. V. Valli Kumari.
Sir, ready, sir? Sir, ready.
I request Vice Chancellor, Executive Dean, Dean R&D and Convener to honor our Chief Operating Officer and Chief Executive Officer.
Sir, ready, sir?
request the Vice Chancellor, sir, Executive Dean, Dean R&D and Convener to kindly honor Chief Executive Officer. Now I request all the dignitaries to honor the Chief Operating Officer also. As we draw this inaugural session to a close, it is my distinct honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks by Dr. K. Lakshman.
As we draw this inaugural session to a close, it is my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. On behalf of the organizing committee of GMR Educative University, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Shri Mohan Satyaranjan, and our guest of honor, Dr. V. Valli Kumari, for accepting our invitation despite their busy schedule and for gracing this occasion with their valuable presence. I also express my sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, CEO, COO, Executive Dean, Dean R&D, and Deans of various schools, heads of departments, and my fellow convener for their guidance, encouragement, and continuous support. I extend my sincere appreciation to all the delegates, faculty members, participants, representatives of the press and media, organizing committee members, technical team, and all those who have joined us in the auditorium as well as through the live streaming platform. Finally, I thank each and everyone for your presence and cooperation in making this inaugural session meaningful and successful. Thank you, and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries on the dais. So it's time for the keynote lecture, the first keynote lecture.
Rajan, GMRIT, this region, because the reality is this place is going to emerge as one of the top 2-3 places in the world, not just India. Okay. Right now, yes, IT means Bangalore. 10 years from now, it will not be any place in India, because the lead this place has got and is going to get is going to be impossible for any other state or town in this region to achieve. So that's I want you to look at this from a completely different perspective, not from the perspective of okay, yeah, we are far away even from Vizag, and oh, we are far away from Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, and all that. So we should look at the local perspective and all that. You now have to dream really big. You know, otherwise it will be the progress will happen. All these investments that are being made will happen, and those businesses will bring in people. Okay, but what can you do? What can you do to lead all this rather than look for some job? You know, so that's the perspective that I would like you to have. Okay. What is happening right now from sustainability perspective, as AI capability has been going up, you know, the blue curve is AI capability. As that is going up, you find the sustainability related indices are coming down, which is not very healthy, right? That we don't want that. So while AI capability has gone over last 10 years or 20 years actually, it has become about a million times more. Okay, AI has been, in some sense, AI has been there. I used to work in those days. We used to call it neural networks and machine learning and all that in the 80s. So it is not that AI came only now. It got accelerated, and it's that agentic generative AI is a fundamental change that happened a few years back, and that is making very rapid inroads into every area. That is the difference. So AI, the trajectory is still it's not going to plateau anytime soon. You know, it's just still going up and up and up. And the health index is coming down. You know, so that is something that we need to start pushing back. You know, and start looking at how we make sure that we don't get caught. So I told you this is the happening place, right? So this is the future of digital geography, is how I would like to put at it, because future is all here. And I'm sure you know better than me about all these initiatives happening here. This is just, right now I am only, these slides talk about things related to AI and sustainability. But there is much more, as in the previous session I said, that there is much more that will happen simultaneously, you know, because the kind of investment that is coming in, and when growth happens in these areas, there are many other opportunities that are opening up. That we'll talk some other time, I mean, if we get an opportunity. But right now, you have Google and Adani setting up a hyperscaler data center with mostly green power energy. Reliance is going to be doing another AI data center, hyperscale data center, and then you have a cable landing station also coming up. Now that SIFI is putting that cable landing station. Once you have the cable landing station, what is a cable landing station? That is a place where optical fiber cables from different places come and land. You know, so optical fiber has very low latency, you know, for it's almost speed of, it is at speed of light in that medium, right? So it is not as free space. In glass it will be little lower, but still it's almost instantly. So your latency, you may be connected to Japan. So, but once you have a cable connecting Vizag to Japan, you're almost instantly everything is seen or done there. So that and that kind of connectivity Vizag is going to have to a lot of countries, and there are plans to take those cables also to Africa. Once you have a cable, from Vizag you go down the Bay of Bengal, turn around and then go to Africa. It is just 2,000 kilometers, not such a big challenge. So the connectivity to rest of the world, the digital connectivity to the rest of the world is what is going to continue to propel this place into more and more, attracting more and more investments. So just keep that in mind. Okay, once again, I keep reminding that if we don't do it the right way, if we don't build our future the right way, the price can end up becoming very high also. So, and this being a cyclone prone area, if right now I'm excited and at these opportunities of so many things coming up, but if the climate goes bad and you have natural disasters hitting this place, then everything will be in jeopardy. So it has to be a collective responsibility to ensure that we don't spoil at least our place. And of course, there has to be a global push to make sure that things committed by others don't end up impacting us. Right? Now, as we talked earlier, the inflection happened when ChatGPT came, right? The 100 million users in just 2 months, right? So obviously people found it useful, right? That's an evidence that we, and then after that, the capability of generative AI has been increasing. Almost every week you will find some improvement if you are closely using it and all that. So where are we using it? To optimize things, that's a large part. Okay, again, I'm taking examples that are related to sustainability, but optimization in general. You can optimize energy grids. We'll get into some detail in a while. Okay, and then predicting, right? Because AI-enabled models have proved to have better prediction abilities, so you can predict pretty much anything. Weather. Okay, when will something go wrong? Okay, what is the possibility of a disease outbreak? It can, looking at all the trends, etc. Now we can even predict, and if you can predict, you have an opportunity to prevent. So it becomes very, very useful. And AI is enabling all kinds of things, new materials. You will find world over people are now able to create materials using AI with very specific properties. I want some material as strong as steel, but as light as foam. And such, using AI, they have created, because AI helps you look at all the lattice boundaries and the possibilities, the band gaps and all that, how you can adjust things to engineer a material exactly as per your needs. So new materials, similarly drugs can be made. Agricultural, we'll look at a few things that we can do that are being done in agriculture, and policy tools. For is increasingly being used by policymakers, by governments world over to look at impact of a policy, how it is likely to impact. So AI will tell you that, okay, given these current scenario, this policy will land you in this kind of situation. Now you have to evaluate whether you like that or you don't want that. Okay. So the biggest area where AI will make a difference is energy. Energy as such, you have to look at energy from a very different perspective. You know, fossil fuels are causing deterioration of the environment, right? We know that greenhouse gas effect, etc., all has been talked about. We are in a transition from fossil fuel-based energy ecosystem to renewable and new sources of energy ecosystem. Now, just think about the scope and size and impact of that transition. Today, you have crores of petrol pumps world over. In 20 years, almost all of them will disappear. Okay? Okay? You have oil wells, you have refineries, you have crores of dispensing, the entire supply chain, ships carrying crude, all that is going to become irrelevant. Trillions of dollars of investment. Right now, they are somehow propping it up because, countries that have oil, they still want to keep selling it till they can. There's a lot of money that has been invested, but all that will transition to new and renewable-based energy ecosystem, right? And to help in that transition, the amount of data that you will have is going to be so much that unless you have intelligent systems, you will not be able to do that. See, now it is not going to be a few oil wells or a few power generation plants. You know, even in electrical ecosystem, what was the past? You will have big thermal power plants or maybe a hydro plant, maybe a nuclear plant somewhere supplying to the grid, and all of us consuming from the grid, right? That was the model. That model has already transitioned to distributed generation and distributed consumption. Okay, you have solar panels being put on every rooftop. Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana is there. Under that, you can get subsidy for 78,000 rupees to put solar on your rooftop. And lo and behold, you have your own power plant. Now, already some 50 lakhs such power plants have come up, small power plants connected to the grid, and you have the larger solar power parks, 1 gigawatt, 2 gigawatt, 3 gigawatt. So you have a complete spectrum of one place where you have just 1 kilowatt solar panels, 20-30 lakhs of that, some 3 kilowatt, another 10 lakhs of that, and then you have bigger ones also. The point I'm trying to make is, from centralized generation and distributed consumption, the model has now become distributed generation, distributed consumption, right? And so every plant, your own energy generating plant, your own factory of energy generation, whatever you say, on rooftop is generating data. And you have millions and tens of millions of such plants generating data. They all have to be analyzed and decisions taken in real time to keep the grid stable. So you need to meet supply and demand. Okay, if your production is going up, then you need to be storing that energy in batteries or pump storage or somewhere. You know, so and with such a large ecosystem distributed, tens of millions of plants sending data about their capabilities, how much they are generating, or tens of millions of load drawing from the grid. Everything has to be balanced, and AI will help you keep that balance in a clean manner. And there are certain initiatives that people have taken where using AI they have been able to bring in efficiency. And I'll just tell you what is the scale of these things. On a daily basis in India, we probably generate and consume maybe 10,000 crores worth of electricity, all put together. Okay, we are 100 crore people. Everybody, even if you say 10 rupee worth of it, that itself will be 1,000 crores per day. But then you have industries and all that consuming much more. When your daily transaction is in thousands of crores, even 0.01% improvement is few tens of crores. Okay, so that's why you introducing AI, spending 100 crores of one-time investment to get 0.01% improvement in your supply-demand balancing, in your energy optimization. It still makes sense because the payback period is few months. So energy is going to be an area, as energy itself is going to be an area of opportunity for next 10-20 years, because a lot of changes happening, and to facilitate that change in a responsible manner, in a sustainable manner, you need AI. Okay. Then you have precision agriculture and water management, right? So farmers have, as food need grows, right now there are something like 8 billion people on the planet. In another 5 years, 6 years, it will become 9 billion. 10 years, it will become 10 billion people. Now, 10 billion people will have to be fed, right? Where is the food going to come from? And how do you increase productivity? How do you keep prices reasonable unless you produce more? You are not going to be able to feed all these people, right? Either there will be war, food fight, or somebody has to step in and produce that food. And precision agriculture is required because when you want to produce, you have to produce more food at the most economical prices. You don't want to use too much of any more fertilizer or water than what is needed, because there is going to be stress. There is so much of arable land that we have right now. There is only so much of water that is available. That also is depleting. But you have to produce more. The agricultural sector is going to start needing more resources. So they have to be optimally used, precise. Everything has to be precise. No more, no less. Okay. If this is what you need for maximum productivity, that is all that will be given to you. How do you quickly do that? How do you, at that scale, with crores of small farms? India, we have one challenge, that our average farm size is very small, right? It's so each farm has to be precise, and fortunately it is possible that there is already some work happening in that area, and that is work in progress. And I'm pretty sure India actually will do very well in some of these areas, because as such we are number one in many things. Rice, milk, bananas, okay, mangoes, world's largest producer. You start looking at it, although we don't have as much land as say Canada has, or Australia has, or Russia has, or even US has, but in many areas we are world number one. Okay, so we are doing well. It's not that things are hopeless here. We are actually doing quite well, but we should aspire to do better, because we should take it upon ourselves as that we have the responsibility to feed the world. Let's look at it this way. Let's start getting prepared for that. And AI for precision agriculture and management of resources is very, very useful. I'll just give one example. I mean, because agriculture is complicated, and there is one concept that you must have. Okay, you have to take the decision of what I should put in my fields today, so that 90 days or 180 days, 120 days from now, I get maximum price. Okay, so it's a predictive supply and demand. You have to, you can't just go and say, yeah, every year around this time I plant tomatoes, so I'll go plant tomatoes. Because everybody plants tomatoes, everybody harvests at the same time, there is oversupply in the market, price crashes and you cry. Right? So now AI will with all the information, satellite imagery data, who is doing what, social media, AI can tell you you can just ask the agent, what should I plant today? And it will tell you these are the best options. You plant this is what, this is getting maximum returns. Right? So to those kind of help farmers also can get. Okay, sustainable manufacturing industry 4.0, conceptually the same. Again, it's about optimization, and at a conceptual level, if you want to look at it, you have millions of sensors coming in, data coming from those sensors, maybe every 10 seconds, every 15 seconds, every 1 minute, every 5 minutes, 15 minutes. There is a lot of data, there are a lot of trends, there are a lot of things that they all need to be accounted for in decision making. Fortunately, now we have a state of maturity in AI that you can actually use all this data and take those optimal decisions in all these areas. And there have been evidence that a smart infrastructure, when people have optimized, all kinds of optimizations are possible, in terms of even say street lighting or water supply. Okay, once you start optimizing it, given the scale, 140 crore people in India itself, consuming all kinds of things. So if you are able to start optimizing, the benefits are also at that scale. So these are all happening right now. And industry also benefits from that, but at a high level it's all the same. Smart cities, urban infrastructure, conceptually the same thing, but these are different application areas. The algorithms are going to be different, the data sets are going to be different, the models that you will use to achieve maximum benefit, they are going to be different. So you have to, it's not that conceptually they are at a high level, they are all same, but you have to have domain-specific, problem-specific implementations, right? So that is where you have to, okay. Then AI in healthcare, you have this is probably the most widely talked about application. A lot of people do that. I mean, and there is opportunity in India to use that. Our our number of doctors per unit of population is still very low, and so we need these things more than others, where an AI based solution can help diagnose quicker, more accurately, and make the actual doctors much more efficient. So the that is the opportunity, and one success example is Cure AI, right? QURE.ai. It's a Bombay-based company. They came up with automating chest X-ray analysis. Okay, because chest X-ray is one of the cheapest and best ways to detect so many different kinds of health issues. Okay, it's not just related to lungs, but other areas also, because if something goes wrong in this area with your bone cage or even heart and vasculature, it does show up in X-ray, which may be difficult for human beings to see, but machines are able to detect much better. X-ray machines are there. Even villages have X-ray machines. It's not very expensive. It's already there in most of the places. So it's a very useful technology where your existing infrastructure with AI help starts giving you a lot more benefits. Okay, and finally, biodiversity conservation, environmental monitoring. You have lot of very important ecosystem around, you know, and in all this development, it's your responsibility to make sure that it doesn't get impacted. And you won't even know if you are not looking at solving the problem. So you have to, my request will be that you should get started with environment monitoring related projects very aggressively. You know, I'm sure you will get funding for those kind of things because your diverse ecosystem with so much of history and ancient history, etc. You have monuments that need to be preserved for next generations. You have risk of climate damage, you have risk of ecosystem damage, and so on. So start with monitoring, and once you start monitoring, the AI-based models will start telling you if you are doing something wrong and what corrective actions are needed, etc., right? Okay, so where are we with respect to impact of AI? You know, the data centers will consume about 1,000 terawatt hours by 2030, and that's the amount of energy that few countries put together consume today, right? So that's the scale. It will also consume a lot of water consumption. Data centers will consume water that 1.3 billion people, equivalent of 1.3 billion people. You know, land required. I mean, you have generously given land to Google and Reliance and NTPC and everybody. You know, the amount of land data centers are going to occupy is 14,500 square kilometers. Okay, so huge amount of land will go. Now they will also produce e-waste. Okay, that will have to be responsibly handled. Otherwise, it will become a mess if they start dumping all the PCBs and everything. One server blade failed. Dump it in the dustbin, and then given the scale at which things are happening, in 5 years, everywhere you will have toxic waste. This thing. So you have to start worrying about it. You have to start thinking about how you will detect it very early, how you will prevent it, how you will get the offenders punished, and all that. And all that requires technology. Okay, all that can be made more efficient through technology. That is best done by the local people. Otherwise, because outside people will, Google, believe me, will be very happy to invest because they are looking at, we put 15 billion and in 5 years we get 30 billion value out of it, right? So for them, everything else is a cost item. Okay, and they will have to be forced to incur that cost for sustainability. If people, there is nobody policing that and monitoring that and all that. And that is why it is very important to start writing proposals from the faculty members here. I mean, you have that opportunity. You can start looking at, you get any amount of grants to build technology around these aspects. And those technology will be useful elsewhere also. Now, what else is happening? Of course, I mean, so far I made it look like, Google is just going to be interested in business and nothing else. So they actually over years have been trying to look at, because if you are wasting your resources, it's expensive for them also. So they have by tweaking the AI models, by running them on right kind of machines, right GPU, etc., which is fine-tuned for the model, by automation, okay? Large scale, you build the small data centers end up becoming less energy efficient, so you make a hyperscale data center, very large ones, and then you get this thing, and then where you locate it, where you can get green energy. So it is called 4M philosophy: model, machine, mechanization, and map. Okay, where map optimization. Look at it: 10x, 5x, 2x, 10x. So 20 into 500 into 10,000. This 4M has actually given them 1,000 times energy improvement. You know, so small tweaks in multiple areas, if you start doing, the combined effect of it can be mind-boggling. So that's the message here. So make sure that you look at it. A small amount of change also is beneficial. So don't dismiss something that, come on, I mean, that is only 1% improvement, forget it. 10 numbers of 1% improvements becomes 10%. And at this scale, that even 1% improvement its impact is big. Now, blockchain is going to be part of it, because what does blockchain give you? Blockchain give you authenticity in some sense, right? It trusts that anything that is being reported over a blockchain enabled system is authentic. Okay, it can be trusted. And the scale at which all these happen, the amount of data, until unless it is built with along with a system that it can be trusted by all, it will soon result in litigations. Okay? Oh, you did that, you did that. You keep fighting cases in the court, environment suffers, people suffer, investments become bad investments, and nobody benefits finally. So you will have to have, and this is the best known technology today to build trust into any technology solution. So blockchain will go along with that. Agentic AI. I'm sure half the people here must have already experimented building some kind of AI agent, right? So the estimated number of AI agents in production today is 100 billion. Did you know that? There are only 8 billion people. So on an average, there are something like 12 to 13 agents per human being already. Okay, and that number will grow, right? So that's and there is a lot of money involved in creating these automated solutions, these AI agents. Okay, and I just wanted to share with you that this concept of AI agent is not something modern. The earliest recorded evidence of AI agent that I could find is Mahabharata. What was Sanjaya doing? He was narrating live to Dhritarashtra, right? Look at it from technology perspective. I mean, it was a large battlefield. And he had video feeds from maybe thousands of cameras. Okay, all events coming from other sensors and all that. He was doing that sensor fusion. Okay, and generating a narrative that was just right for Dhritarashtra, right? So that's what an AI agent does. Okay, and it weaves in all relevant context, etc. It reports in a manner that is useful to you, taking care of all the and sensor fusion is the first part of it, and then keeping it relevant to you, the context, your need, historical context, etc., etc. So this technology is going to keep getting more and more mature, and obviously it will take away a lot of jobs also, no doubt about it. But then it will create higher paying, higher skilled jobs, and so that's how you have to look at this transition. Okay, this area is going to explode the number of these things. Now, is it always very expensive? Actually, not. You know, and especially engineering students should be doing experiments around what hardware is sufficient for you to use in edge AI application for your application, right? For farmers, right? For farming applications, you can't say I will put an NVIDIA GPU there. I mean, that's not required. Okay, if you have a well-trained model, the training can be done elsewhere, but your edge AI can run that agent on a very low-cost hardware. So I have listed a few. I mean, probably Arduino Uno Q is the cheapest. I don't know. There is actually an edge AI chip that came out of a startup in Kerala also. I don't know details of that, so I'm not put there. But those are also important. And my prediction is that in 2-3 years from now, using AI, you will be able to create your own edge AI chip, design your own edge AI chip, okay, and send it to a fab to have it manufactured. You know, TSMC is, right now we get manufactured everything in TSMC because in India we still don't have working fabs, but this is how it is going to be. 5 years from now, some of you will be doing that, okay? Design a chip using AI, send the binaries of that to a fab and pay the money, and they will ship you the chips. You know, so that's how future is going to be. Then decarbonization is another area. You use digital twins for that, so you can do what if scenarios. What if I tweak this? What will happen? Before doing that, in a digital twin, which uses all these AI technologies, you can evaluate your options and then go to production. Okay, nuclear is going to be one big source. Of course, for Andhra, I will still request you to invest in extracting energy from the ocean, okay? Because you have plenty of it, and maybe you don't need to do that, but globally nuclear energy is going to be needed big time, and in India also there are a lot of talks of investment available for, or R&D funding available for research in SMRs, you know. So that is another area. Space is, as I earlier also mentioned, space is one big area of innovation and technology, opportunity, business, money, everything, right? Lot of investment, lot of returns, everything. Space should not be neglected. We have one satellite that was launched, NISAT. It observes something like 240 kilometer wide this thing, and to visit the same place, it comes back after 12 days. So any data you have about a place may be up to 12 days old. But once you have tens of thousands of such satellites, you know, you will have enormous amount of data available from satellite, and the moment you have that kind of data, you will need AI-based solutions to make useful information out of that and help you. And what kind of things will get more accurate? Crop monitoring, groundwater tracking, glacial mass balance, glacial lake overflow prediction, disaster prediction, all that will become much better. So now, once again to remind you that the digital geography is being created here. In the future of digital geography is being created here. You have enormous opportunities happening. Same continuation of that. This is Reliance is also building this AI data center. And the puja at this airport happened yesterday. Incidentally, those of you who did not know, the new airport that has come up in Bhogapuram, sometimes this month it will become commercially operational and all that. It has an AI-powered digital twin platform already. So it's a virtual replica of the airport assets. You know, so a digital twin of the airport that we just sometime back we were talking about what can digital twins do. So it is already there. This was developed first at the GMR Hyderabad airport, and all GMR airports will have that. And then they also have something called EPOC, which is so with all these data coming, the digital twin gives you predictive inputs that okay, you are likely to have congestion in the parking area, as well as that. So you can start taking corrective actions for that. Okay, a few flights got delayed for whatever reason, right? You may have congestion in certain gate area. Should you do a reallocation of gates? What gates would be most optimal given the crowd pattern, real-time crowd pattern, and all that. So all that EPOC already does. You know, so AI is in. So this airport from day one will be using AI. Okay. So what are the career implications? You know, it's an engineering college. There are, all of you are also looking at, okay, what to do after I get my degree. Right? So there are, so first, all these various big projects coming up, they need people. Okay, so an obvious thing is prepare for that. Start looking at what the discipline that you are going to be graduating in, what is the relevant technology or relevant additional skill that you need to have that makes you ideally suitable for one of these. So each of them are going to need thousands of people, right? And for any employer, local talent is the best option, you know. And so you have to start looking, and for faculty also, all this happening and what else can happen is you have to align your research with that. Then you get perpetual funding, you solve problems of relevance, and be part of this ecosystem. When you align with what is happening, it will propel you also in the success. If you don't align with that, many times people have personal preferences. Oh, I want to solve that problem, this problem, but then that may end up becoming suboptimal if it is not aligned with what is happening in this region. Because what is happening in this region is really, literally an opportunity that happens probably once in few hundred years. This thing. So, what should be the research agenda? I only know telecom, networking, and a little bit of computer science. So it's not that it's just my attempt at some of these and looking at literature survey. These are precision agriculture definitely is something that we should not drop. Okay, cyclone prediction, coastal resilience, start with monitoring, look at satellite, integrate with satellite data, build models for your relevance so that nobody should get away with any even minor damage to your climatic conditions. Then renewable energy integration, right? That's another area I think. Responsible and green AI system design, models, etc., and blockchain integration. That is something, a skill that needs to be acquired so that you are more eminently employable. So I would say everybody should have good understanding of how to use blockchain in your thing, irrespective of what branch of engineering you are doing or science you are doing. And these are some of the areas that I see. Okay, so finally, opportunities are enormous in this area, and it should not happen that we get benefited financially for short term, and then because of lack of focus on sustainability, it becomes a curse in the long term. So please build well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for having
They may have turned it off. No, my mic is on, but
your lecture on this importance of AI in the various sectors like precision agriculture and water management.
Yeah, sure.
Audience, any questions from your side?
No questions? Can't believe. That means I was blabbing nonsense all this time. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. So whatever you said that AI in the agriculture system, how this the farmers are really adaptable this technology?
Okay, so of course, if you build a technology that requires a PhD in computer science to use, farmers will not be able to use it. Okay, you have to look at how Apple or Samsung or Android, Google, they make technology. This is a piece of technology that is as complex as you can. The operating system, the hardware inside it. Okay, it's a very cheap technology, few thousand rupees. You can get this wonderful piece of technology. So it is our job to make it simple for use by the farmers, and not expect farmers to first go and acquire a PhD in computer science. Next. So India has more than 100 crore smartphones, you know, and so and obviously out of that, maybe 20-30 crore people probably can't even read and write. But the technology is built with usability in mind, so people are benefiting from it. So it's the job of engineers to build solutions that are usable and not have this mindset that it was. Don't get me. I'm not criticizing you. So
Make it user friendly.
Make it user friendly. So P. Chidambaram's one video clip, even 10 years after he made that, goes around.
That is the cost. How this cost will?
Yeah. So cost. How much does mobile phone cost? If you build, see, if you build a useful technology that gets adopted, okay, and millions of people start using it, the cost of R&D gets divided among all the users, right? So while you may have spent 100 crores to develop it, but if 100 crore people use it, the cost of R&D per capita becomes 1 rupee, right? So that's you have to design an architect for ease of use, for large volume adoption. You have to start looking at where can friction be, what can inhibit adoption, and so if your model, if your business model, product design is for high volume adoption, and you, of course, you have to, after that you have to do it right also. Not every product has been successful. A useful technology implemented well will become cost effective eventually. You don't have to worry about that. Volumes drop costs. So, I mean, the volume in mobile phones actually enabled everything else, right? Processors became cheap, memory became cheap, LCD became cheap, because this platform needed so much volume. Okay, the R&D costs became meaningless, right? So pretty much production cost plus few cents is all that you need to do. Today you can buy microcontrollers for 7 rupees, 12 rupees, 15 rupees, right? Very powerful microcontrollers. So why should your solution be very expensive?
Thank you.
Anything else? Yeah.
When I see the things from academic perspective, I find that the world is moving very fast. So I find there is a huge gap from a real world, like what we are doing in the academic scenario. But how could we bridge that gap?
So this is a real challenge, okay? Because unless you solve problems in a timely manner, it is irrelevant. Okay. Again, don't get me wrong. I spent all my work life in telecom and networking. Networking is a technology that was invented completely in companies. Okay. Academic research initially academic research that had not been used, industry picked it up, and when they started building, the pace at which technology evolved, academic world got left behind. They still teach Starling's, William Starling's network technology or something 20 years. Now that's very, very basic. That's not where technology is. So of course the trick is going to be in getting aligned to solving problems quickly, right? Fortunately, approval cycles. I know I am also into academics now, so I know the challenges that the industry, the approval cycle times are 0. Once an opportunity is found, all you need to do is the people who control money, sanction of money, getting convinced. Next day you get the sanction of the project. Here you write a proposal, it goes, you keep praying, the funding may come, may not come. So that also has to change. Now, can it change? Can JMRIT find some way of overcoming that? Can they create some fund which initially funds ideas and gets replenished when the actual funding comes? Some kind of thing. We experiment at IIT Madras. Some of these experiments happen. That we try to get some institute level funding itself, internal funding to evaluate an idea, so that then you have a more credible kind of proposal also that gets funded, and you don't get stuck. And ideas do not become useless before they get approved. Every idea has a shelf life. So you are right. Are we done?
Yes.
Okay, there is a question.
Sir, as you depicted that AI integration with different sectors, and in one side there is an energy sector where it shows above 900 gigawatt in combined with 3 countries. So the main important aspect is to know that how much we rely on the energy. So the only point is not we depend on the renewable energy, but as you know, 2 to 3 months back there is an industry from Elon Musk Terrafab, which includes replacing the space research, solar power energy, becoming 2 type 1 civilization. How much is our country be based up, and what can it be take on energy, replacing energy as well?
So energy is going to be most fundamental. Let us keep that in mind. That too, as I told you, one part is migrating from fossil fuel based energy ecosystem to new and renewable energy system. That is now in the new category. Okay, renewable, we know you have solar, you have wind, you have geothermal, you have maybe wave energy, tidal energy. All these will come under renewable category. And sun is the ultimate source of all this. Sun shines on the ocean, it creates wave and wind and that energy, and then gravitation creates tidal, right? So all these are there, but you have to look at what is going to be most economical also, right? You cannot, if energy is available, but if it is not economically viable, it will not be useful. Now, but research does need to continue and examine options before you say it will be viable or not viable, right? So I am breaking the problem into multiple parts. One is proven technology that are viable today is for commercial deployment. Solar plants are coming up, windmills are coming up, you have wind potential, there is technology available, just deploy. Okay? But unless you do research, okay, example of Elon Musk, you do, that guy has been investing a lot of money in futuristic ideas, futuristic research, and then creating businesses out of that. If we forever wait for a proven idea and then adopt, then your margins are going to be small. You take a big risk, the reward also can be big. you can have a big loss also. But that courage to take that big risk with a good idea, okay, that we will have to develop that courage. That okay, we will have to draw. I mean, rather, it's not a what you ask is not a technology question. It's more of a cultural question. Do we have the courage to take such risks? Okay, we are a very risk-averse society, and a risk-averse society will never have a big gain. So you have to, we have to start changing our cultural this thing. That okay, what is the worst that will happen? I will lose all my money. Okay, but I have education, I have knowledge, I can go rebuild it again. I'll find some job, right? That inhibition, especially, and for the poorest, anyway he is poor. Why should he worry about what is there? Is nothing to lose, so you have no fear. I look at it that way, right? So nobody should. Culturally, we weaved this into our thought process of, oh, we should not take risk. Okay, let's take a government job and go every day at 9 o'clock, come back at 5 o'clock and do nothing. Okay, I'm secure. That we have to get out of that false sense of security. Okay, that those are the solutions. Once you get out of that, then you will come up with crazy ideas. You will, and then there are enough people who don't have these kind of false sense of security. They will fund your crazy ideas, and breakthrough technologies will happen. I will answer it that way. So what India is doing, India is not bad anymore. There are a lot of crazy people who have come, attempted crazy things, and are becoming successful. We need to. It will take some time for it to grow, but fortunately there is support for a startup ecosystem. There is support for entrepreneurship. There is support for crazy ideas, and some of those crazy ideas eventually will change the world. Any other question, or we are done? I think we are done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your remarkable keynote lecture. To summarize this, you have first of all highlighted what is happening in various domains like precision agriculture, water management, and next we have dwelled into the manufacturing sector, smart cities and urban infrastructure, healthcare, biodiversity, conservation and environmental monitoring funding opportunities. So in this, so we also emphasized on how this blockchain becomes a trust layer in the implementing AI in all these sectors here. And the important point which we can say is, if the data that is being generated from all these sectors, industries is integrated, even then, even a 0.1% improvement in supply-demand scenario will enhance all the opportunities in different sectors. And finally, the last point which I have highlighted is that the historical context, that is AI chips, and also the career opportunities for all the budding, also the research opportunities which the esteemed faculty can dwell into. Thank you, sir, once again for your excellent keynote lecture. With this note,
Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm here to confuse you more before your lunch and share all my confusions I have regarding quantum with you. Agreed? Yeah? Yes? So, AI and quantum. So I was all the way thinking AI is a futuristic technology. That means AI, if we learn, I will become up to date, modern, so I'll be able to provide a lot of solutions for the future, build some projects. I was of that impression all these days. And when quantum came, I thought, it's very old because it's something related to quantum physics, lot of, cosmos, this, that. They talk about potential energy, kinetic energy, light as source, sound, which interferes, noise, coherence, decoherence, lot of stuff. So I thought it's very old. But then something which evolved is the fusion of these two, quantum and AI, has become modern science now. So everyone is after this combo, right? How many of you are interested in AI? Look, almost everyone is, right? And how many of you are interested in quantum? Very few, right? Very few. But then, when you talk about government's initiatives, I know Girish Garu, Prasad Garu, and Ravindra Garu, and your head of the department, and electrical EC, other departments, HODs too, are bothered with a lot of communication from the higher education side, or the administration from the universities, to share or to promote quantum, to promote AI. Very few takers as of now, but then when compared to last year and now, the number of takers has exploded like anything. How many of you have done a WISER course? Qualified the first round? Second round too? Done? Just enrolled. Okay, how many of you have attended FDPs on quantum? Lots of them, right? Anyone who wrote NPTEL exam? Yeah, you have many. So that itself shows, even though it's not part of your curriculum, we're still focusing on it. So we all perceive there is something out there, right? So one interesting thing is like, if AI is all about technology, making machines think the way human brain does. Like Mohanji has just displayed a slide, the last slide, saying Sanjay Uvacha ani Bhagavad Gita Shautam Gada. So what did Sanjay say? In the last slide he was showing. So everything that was happening in the Mahabharata Yuddha, he was able to what? Transfer that scenario to the blind king, right? So standing there outside the field, he could transfer every knowledge that was happening out there to somebody else. That's the kind of technology we had earlier. Luckily for me, Mohanji's last slide, I can use it to pitch my talk. my title of talk. The architectures of intelligence means the neural network architecture, deep learning models, whatever you're talking about for implementing intelligence through machines. They have an application, okay, but they were implemented in some other way in our ancient times. So whenever I'm reading articles, I'm getting a lot of, questions, which I'm unable to answer. But still, I still have some hope that there is some connection. I'll put before you all those doubts. Don't take this as a preaching session, but take it as a set of questions posed to you, which you can dwell upon to see if you can find a technological solution for them. So, the architecture of intelligence from ancient geometry to quantum runtimes. Luckily for me, these chat GPTs are working out well to generate these images. Otherwise, what I have in my mind, I would have typed on the slide. But then, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so, data center, a Google data center, which we are going to have very soon. Several other data centers I heard are also coming to Vizag. So there are huge structures like that with lot of rack servers, lot of computation. Okay, so in those data centers, we try to minimize the heat. We try to cool down them, right? We try to look at the thermal part of it and then try to cool them down. That is the kind of architecture they have in the AI data centers or data centers which support AI. Every query that you do to LLM or an AI model, okay, generates some heat, right? We try to pull that down. But on the other hand, right side, if you can see, dilution refrigerator. So recently, Venkat Subramaniam and his team, how many of you know him? Venkat Subramaniam, the person who wrote the book Quantum Nation. It's a very small book, 150, 200 pages. It's like a novel, you just read it if you get time. Maybe you can ask your teachers to get a few copies into your library. Okay, Venkat Subramaniam. So he was in IBM and he wrote that book Quantum Nation, and he's the one who brought this kind of a wave of quantum into India. He spread it like anything. And now he left IBM and is with Amaravati Quantum Valley. And recently, I don't know how many of you have attended that session, but launch of the quantum reference test bed in SRM campus, I suppose, in Amaravati Quantum Valley was done by him. All of us, we attended that, right, when the CM was inaugurating it. Did you? You remember? We attended online from all the campuses, right? Now, he is also building dilution refrigerators in the Amaravati Quantum Valley. One of the rarest kind of apparatus or equipment which is required for quantum related whatever activities we wish to do. So what is this dilution refrigerator about? It's about bringing the temperature to what? Yeah, minus 270. 273. You want to bring down the temperature to that level. So that is the objective of that equipment. So on one hand, you're generating a lot of heat. On the other hand, you're building equipment to run in the lowest of the lowest temperatures possible. Right? Look at the two aspects of it. Right? Now, for AI to be used at its highest potential, maximum potential, you need lot of memory. Don't you agree? Everyone need to have a GPU, small or big, depending on the data set you have. Depending on the data, you need to memorize or put in memory to run the train the models. So you need a lot of memory for building or training the AI models, right? So that is what is done in the data centers. It's computing plus memory. So there is a boundary for every AI model. Look, whenever I run a deep learning model, I increase the number of layers or I increase the size of the data set. I reduce the number of epochs so that the batch size increases, and I want to run as quickly as possible. I want to train my model as quickly as possible. What happens? One epoch, two epochs, three epochs, and fourth epoch, my laptop memory it can't accommodate, and there is a crash. How many of you have experienced it? When running AI models, your laptop doesn't support? Oh, is GMR giving you a GPU high-end resource? Yeah? You're having it? Very nice. So your laptop you never tried? What about students?
Students also we have access to the government.
Very nice. So, actually, when we individually do the programs, there is memory crash. The models don't run beyond a certain size. Okay? So that is why we go for HPC systems or, high computing resources. So memory is the bottleneck which I am trying to tell you. Now, so when we increase the number of nodes, increase the number of connections, a dense kind of a network. So what happens when the number of edges between two layers connected to each of those nodes in each of the layers, they increase. What happens? The number of weights with which you need to train the model also increase. Don't you agree? So the number of weights means the number of variables. So W1 into X1 plus W2 into X2. How many variables? Two variables, X1 and X2. How many weights? W1 and W2. So now when you have two nodes, then X1 is the input, X2 is the input. Now you say X1, it's something like this, maths and physics. You give more importance to physics to select a student. Then if you got 100 marks in maths, 50 marks in physics, if you say 50% weightage to maths marks, then and 100 to physics marks, then what happens? All the 50 marks you got in physics, they get added up to your score. But when it comes to 100 marks in maths, but weightage is 50, only 50 marks get added to your final score. So you're giving a weightage, right? So now in training a model, what do? We adjust those weights. So we'll see how much W1 should be, how much W2 should be. So like that, when you consider an LLM kind of a model or a very huge network, then you have lakhs and lakhs of parameters for which you need to find out the weights. It's an optimization problem, right? So as the number of layers increase, what happens? So it is first layer's weight into plus second layer's weight, third layer's weights, they also get added up. You have more number of weights to be trained. So at the end of the day, what happens? Your memory can accommodate only a few weights. So that is where there is a bottleneck. Okay, so that means you have hardware on one side and a logic, a program on one side, but when you want to feed that logic or whatever weights, solutions, intermediate values you have, they have to be stored in memory to carry further, right? But if that memory is limited, that is where your program ends up. So there is a wall, memory wall in the classical AI. So now coming to quantum. So I have borrowed a few slides which are very good from Feynman and a few others from other lectures I have, and a few of them are created by me. Okay, so wherever I have used some other slides, I have put the URLs there. So this is the most beautiful set of lectures we have on quantum. Have you gone through this? Anyone? The same Feynman lectures? No. So whenever you talk about quantum, people start with particles, waves and electrons. Particles, waves and electrons. So what is the difference between a particle and a wave? Particle is like a kind of a discrete thing, a gun bullet kind of a thing. So you shoot a bullet, it goes to a particular place, right? So its shape doesn't change. So if you are bowling a cricket ball, if you are throwing a cricket ball to the batsman, so the ball changes its position. Does it change its shape? Will it disappear in the middle? No, right? Right? So there are some interesting properties that scientists have observed in the case of particles, waves and then electrons. So whole of quantum revolves around these three concepts. If you are clear with these three, yeah, you are done. But then whenever you are listening to somebody, whenever you are reading a textbook, it all seems to be clear, at least from my side. Okay? But you close it and again you try to conceive or repeat that, you still have some doubts, but that's okay. So you can see a gun followed by the bullets. So there are two slits through which the bullet can travel to, right? And then there is a screen where it stops, right? Now, so it's something like this. Bullets always arrive in identical lumps, and their probability of arrival shows no interference. So if one bullet goes and hits the screen, the second one goes and hits the screen in some position. There is no interference between them. But when it comes to waves, the second one, so from one slit, if there is a wave coming out, the second slit, a wave coming out, there is a kind of interference. Look at the second slide. Second, there is interference, right? If it's a particle, the behavior is different. If it is a wave, the behavior is different. There is interference. Okay? So now, coming to the third one, P12. What does this mean? It's like a Gaussian curve, right? You know Gaussian, right? So what is it? What is it? So the probability of distribution of the bullets landing on this. How is it like? It has a Gaussian property. Right? In ML you study this Gaussian. Even in school maths you have studied this. So, but when you individually consider the bullets that have come out through the first slit and the second slit, then first slit you get the Gaussian curve of nature P1. If you are shooting the bullets through the first slit, Anni kuda, they get spread in this portion. And the second one, if the bullets pass through the second one, the probability will be P2. So that means there is more concentration of the bullets in the middle areas. Now, when you are taking the sum of these two, you get this kind of a curve. Got it? So, what is all this about? What is all this about? This is sum of these two distributions, probability distributions, and waves. So the first slit, the waves, okay, go till the absorber. So you speak and the sound signal goes till the wall and it is absorbed, right? So the second slit, there is a wave and it gets absorbed out here. Now, what is the distribution here? Probability or the intensity distribution. It's like this for both the slits put together if you combine. Because here you have light intensity of first slit as well as the second slit through waves. So it is more at the center and lower at the other ends. You are getting it? So now when you consider individual curves, so for the first slit, it will be I1 and it will be I2. So now, waves show interference that you have seen, and this arises from wave superposition, which is an important concept in quantum. Okay? So we'll go through electrons. Another experiment was conducted by the scientists for the electrons. So what happens here? Again, two slits. Now, what is happening? It flows through till the backstop is there, right? And look at here. If there is someone who is observing, if there is a source, you want to detect where actually this electron is landing, right? Then it disappears. So, what do you understand with this? Atomic scale phenomenon behave in ways nothing like everyday experience with microscopic objects, waves, or classical particles. Electrons behave like particles at detection, but probability distribution behaves like waves. You can see here. Okay? And whenever you're trying to measure the behavior of that quantum particle, electron is a quantum particle, right? So its behavior changes. So as long as it is not being observed, it is perfectly okay. Otherwise, its behavioral pattern changes whenever someone is observing. So nature does not behave like classical waves or particles. It requires something else, probability of amplitudes and superposition. Like in the morning talks, Girishji was saying, it's not just 0 and 1. you have to learn something like a qubit. So how is qubit different? So there are a lot of possibilities between 0 and 1 as well. Classical computing, you just have a 0 or a 1. But in quantum, you have many probabilities between the 0 and the 1. So that is characterized by this superposition. So that means quantum systems are neither classical particles or waves. So when you do an experiment with electrons, they don't behave purely as particle and purely as a wave. There is something called as interference from superposition of these amplitudes. And whenever there are indistinguishable, distinguishable means 0 or 1. And when something is not distinguishable, so we call them a possibility which is indistinguishable. Okay, then probabilities are squared magnitudes of those amplitudes. So I'm not going to confuse with the math here, but just remember particles, waves, quantum particles like electrons. Quantum particles, they behave both as particles as waves and waves. What are the applications of quantum computing? Pharmaceutical, drug discovery, there are a lot of possibilities. Quantum computers can simulate the behavior of matter at the molecule level. And it is impossible for classical computers, this kind of a problem solving. Okay? Then we have protein folding, molecular docking, lot of applications in these areas, and Department of Biotechnology, DPT, even ANRF, they are giving a lot of importance to pharmaceutical and drug discovery related applications and products. Cybersecurity, again, post-quantum cryptography, means after quantum has arrived, all these cybersecurity systems are meant to be broken. So we have to be ready for that Q-day. Okay, then quantum key distribution. So lot of applications are there in cybersecurity as well. Then material science and energy. So this is totally out of my context, but people who are from sciences background here, the researchers, they would appreciate this stuff. Electrical, next generation batteries, developing high capacity, faster charging solid state batteries for EV vehicles. Okay, climate. So carbon capture, designing new catalysts that can efficiently scrub the CO2 away from atmosphere. These are very compute intensive applications. Financial risk and management. Now every bank transaction is digitized. So of all the available data, you can find out a lot of interesting patterns, especially the fraud detection. For that, there are a lot of applications coming in from QML. So quantum machine learning solutions, they're being used for fraud detection. Then logistics and supply chain management. So recently, I think Amravati, they're supporting Confluence, a company which has come out with an ambulance management solution. So they're trying to find out the traffic junctions and trying to find out the best possible route. So like this, logistics and supply chain, quantum machine learning is used. LLMs, okay, and complex pattern recognition. So AI models also, quantum will be enabling, speeding up them, and will be optimizing them. But as of today, telling you frankly, everything is hybrid. There is no pure quantum solution, at least to the knowledge I know. Most of the things are done using HPC systems, and once the circuit is done, then only computer is used. I mean, quantum computer is used. But we'll have a day when we'll actually have the real quantum computer available at affordable costs, and we can run large applications on them. Remember, AI models, we somehow, for academic research, manage the data sets. Okay, we synthesize, we generate synthetic data sets, rotation, scaling, we do all kinds of stuff, and then increase the data set size. But that data set size is not enough for QML. You need to have abundant data for a model to be released. But there are some challenges and noise problem. So the thing is, so when you have a wave, a slightest disturbance, okay, that collapses or that disturbs the wave, right? So building a practical quantum computer is very expensive, at least as on today with the available technologies. But yeah, Indian startup ecosystem is really trying very hard to come out with, decently working systems. So I have seen certain startups coming out with 4-qubit. Sir was saying they have an 8-bit one recently seen. Yeah, even that is very expensive. So how much is the cost, sir, for the 8-qubit one? Not yet. Okay. Definitely will run into crores, no doubt. We only have simulators as of today. Okay? The so-called Qiskit and all those enablers, okay, they help us design the circuits on a simulation platform. Yeah. So then scaling hardware is again an engineering nightmare. So each qubit needs its own control wiring. Scaling to millions would require impractically massive cryogenic infrastructures. Maintaining that temperature becomes very difficult. So classical electronics must operate at ultra low temperatures to reduce latency and heat, requiring new cryo-compatible control systems. So there are some operators, like we have logical operators, okay, for our binary systems. We have certain other operators. So there is something called as Bragg gate, which was invented by Dirac, a scientist. So Kets and Brass. So you have, instead of original bits 0 and 1, which are represented as scalar values, we have certain other representation mechanisms. Okay, Kets and Brass. So this because there is something called as Stern-Gerlach experiment. So there is an oven and some silver atoms, they were sent through some inhomogeneous magnetic field, and then it splits. So when you see the pattern is like it is split and you have indistinguishable landings and something of that sort. Let us not worry about that. But so here you have a third dimension as well, not just xy, but the z direction as well. So the basis vectors and all, there's a lot of stuff you need to study. So xy direction is like this, and when I talk about z, it is on the other side. So when you are performing some filterings, so you pass the electron through SG jet in the jet plane, you get the same result, but if you send through SD Z dimension and then through X dimension, it splits, whatever. So there are operators, like 0 and 1 gives you 0 in the end. Okay, you have some operators like that out here. So you have some state space. There we have binary system. 0 and 1 are the only possibilities in which a bit can exist. But here you have what is called as a Hilbert space. Okay, so any quantum system, it is represented by a wave function called psi, and you can have a two-dimensional space like C square. So that is called as a Hilbert space. So what does that mean? You have a vector, and then it can go through either x direction, y direction, or xy direction. Okay, that is Hilbert space. Then we have what is called as Born rule, which is used for measurement probabilities. So that electron particle is going towards 0 or 1. You want to measure. There is some rule called as Born rule. And then state collapse. Whenever measurement is done, that state of the particle, it collapses to either 0 or 1. Until then it is a wave, a superposition wave. Okay, and then we also have what is called as time evolution. So according to Schrodinger's equation, so what does that mean? Between measurements, an isolated system state evolves according to this equation. Psi of t is unitary operator, u of t, source is psi of 0. Okay, so a lot of representations here, but the theory behind is simple. You need not worry with the practicalities of it. Only the notations you need to understand. So what does that mean? A quantum state is represented in a vector space called Hilbert space. Okay, quantum state is represented in a Hilbert space, means xy dimensions or more. Then what is the observable? Observables, we use what are called as Hermitian operators. And how do you do the measurement? You use probabilities, that's all, remember this. And then when you do a measurement, there is a state collapse. From superposition, it either goes to 0 or 1. So then, okay, so that is called as a state collapse. And this is a Schrodinger's equation. All in all, the quantum basics are, they revolve around the Hilbert space, okay, or the Hermitian operators. You can apply an operator on the state. So a ball is there, I would push it. So pushing it is an operation. Okay, the state changes, the ball goes further. So it's like this. Hermitian operators are used to change the state of the system. That's all. If you remember these stuff, everything else is okay. So a system is represented in Hilbert space using a wave function. Then evolution means timing is governed by Schrodinger's equation. Measurement is done by Hermitian operators, the three H's, Hilbert, Hamiltonian and Hermitian. And then superposition and entanglement, they're called as interference, which we'll talk about later on. So the dimensions, if you were talking about a 1 qubit system, it's 2-dimensional, 2 qubits, 4-dimensional, n qubits is 2 power n dimensional space, right? And well, so there is something called as block sphere. Again, we try to represent a vector in this Hilbert space, and there is something called as a density matrix. So it actually generalizes the state vector formalism to describe the uncertainty or entanglement or the dynamics in the whole space. Well, so coherence is something people talk about. So a state of a system is coherent in a given basis if density matrix, okay, it's all mathematical representation. So it has non-zero off-diagonal elements in that basis. Actually, there are several bases. People go for Hadamard basis or several basis vectors. Then, so what is this wisdom of physics? We have seen lot of math is driving the quantum theory and making us build large network models and then drive through quantum operators. So nature, so there is a quote by Richard Feynman, which is very interesting. What does it say? Nature isn't classical. So don't try to, when you say digitization, you're converting every natural phenomena to either 0 or 1. You're not looking at something in between, isn't it? So what he says is, nature isn't classical. And if you want to make a simulation of nature, you talk about climate modeling, weather prediction, you talk about, earthquake prediction, you talk about sky, cloud burst, ocean. If you want to make a simulation of nature, you would better make it quantum mechanical. So he warned us decades ago, several decades ago. But to build these machines, we have to understand the fundamental nature of the void they operate in. Void means that vacuum. So what is this observer's paradox? There is a wave function, okay? Now, whenever someone is observing, it collapses. That is a collapsing state. So that means, whenever you are looking at these, you have to look back to the older sciences, not to the advancing technologies. Because somebody like Schrödinger, somebody like Feynman have already examined those systems. Somebody like Einstein, they have examined those natural processes. Well, before closing, I would like to relate them to the ancient scientists who have already told about this. So, do you know which stotra this shlokan is from? Anyone? Yeah? So it is like, if you want to study well, you must read Dakshinamurti Stotram, is what my elders used to tell me. And we don't care for them, right? Some 20 years ago, on an official visit, I went to Trivandrum. And from there, luckily, I had an opportunity to visit Kaladi, Adi Shankaracharya's birthplace. I was not knowing which book to purchase. I just told the person over there to, okay, how many of you know Akshay Tritiya? Yeah, everyone knows it. Well, there is a story related to Adi Shankaracharya for celebrating that. Anyway, అప్పుడు బంగారం కొనుక్కుంటారు ఆ రోజున అందరూ. But the story is related to Adi Shankaracharya. Okay, so that Kaladi, there is a river and there is his home where his mom stayed. He was born there. So after going to Himalayas and writing the Saundarya Lahari, lot of Shiva Stotras. Okay, he went to Kailash. He went to Manasarovar. There at the Kailash, people say he somehow could get some sound signals and he could locate some script, and that he came back and then jotted down, that becomes Saundarya. Yeah, whatever. So these Lalita Sahasra, they talk about all the nodal points. Okay, Vishnu Sahasra, it tells about the universe. Saundarya, it describes energy. I'm not talking in a religious perspective. Yeah, but in Bible there are some revelations, 108 revelations kind of that. James, they have something related to this. So the preachers, they had their own way of interpreting the energy, the supernatural power. Okay, in that tradition, whatever got transferred, it got transferred to the next generations. Now, because I was taught by my elders, I am able to give this. Maybe someone who reads Bible, some other scripts, they can go through certain aspects like this, because those seers already have seen some energy, some potential behind. So what does he say? The universe is like a city reflected in a mirror. So that which I am seeing is not something I can see directly, but my eye, it gives me a reflection somewhere within, and whatever reflection has come to me within, that only I can realize. A screen, this one, it gets projected there by a projector. So the blank screen, unless you have the blank screen, the projection can't be made. Right? So the life is like a movie. Once the screen is gone, so whatever picture is seen cannot be displayed somewhere. So now, this is the exact definition of the quantum measurement problem. So whatever is seen is displayed out there. So Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashinatmani Maya Bahiri Vyudbhuta Yadha Nidraya. So it's something of this sort. And what did Heisenberg say? What we observe is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning. Sometimes you see a person, you think he is the best, she is the best. Again, in your context, you tell he is service level. So, what we observe is not the nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning. Okay, so quantum mechanics forces physics into a corner that Advaita Vedanta mapped. Maybe several other scripts have done so, I am not aware of them. Okay, the strict separation between the looker and the looked at is a mathematical illusion. Got it? So looker and the looked, the separation is a mathematical illusion. So Nenu chustunnanu. Who is that Nenu? If I am looking, if what I am Nene chustunnappudu, Nenu and separate ga endukanaru. That is what Schrödinger says. Okay? And again, there is one shloka in Nirvana Shatakam. No? No sound, right? Okay. So, there is a shloka again which says, I am not the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego, nor the memories, and not the ears, nor the tongue, nor the nose, nor the eyes. Look, they have tried to tell us something that the looker and the object that is looked at, are they different? Yeah, lot of things they are actually already coded. Only thing is we do not know that language and we do not know how to interpret it. So if reality is just a projection on the mirror within us, how does it physically matter? What you see, what I see might be different in the context. Same person, right? So there are some projections, okay? Certain people are doing some neural network modeling of those scripted, geometrical shapes, several layers. Each layer, there is some explanation. So there are 4 nodes, then 5 nodes, upwards, downwards, right? Several layers. They're talking about energy spreading from a simple bindu point. They're trying to tell something, and which we still have to understand. The same thing, again, there is something called as baryon asymmetry. Physics and mechanical people might understand this. Okay, every system is not symmetrical. Perfect symmetry is not there. There is a kind of an asymmetry which has certain reasonings and modelings done. Right? So every layer, how many geometrical shapes is all written at length in these scriptures. So don't take it as a religious faith or a belief. Try to look at what we can understand and what we can model. Just like you read a foreign author, UK author paper or Japanese author paper, look at this research work, compressed in the form of a shloka. So there can be some layers and then lot of neural network nodes. Okay, the energy gets dissipated, some sound signals being sent. Okay, that sound reverberates and then we don't know what kind of an impact it brings in. And Big Bang, Geneva, so they have put the Nataraja idol at that outside their labs, certain. You can look at the articles. So there is something related to quantum and energy and kind of stuff. Yeah? So, perfect time for lunch. So when we build systems to decipher complex noise or stabilize a logical qubit against a vacuum, we are learning how to actively participate in the continuous cycle of creation, preservation, and dissolution. Creation, reserving for some time, and then dissolution. So we are learning how to compile the whole cosmos. And this is a perfect example that we can all try out because the results are also given. Thank you. And any questions? We can have them outside. Well, we had a patent grant in quantum cryptographic methods, but I would have explained you that stuff. We had a couple of publications in quantum in SCI index journals. I could have explained that. Recently, we are also awarded with a project in quantum algorithms. Well, research work needs to be done still. But then, this is not morning when I have seen, it's a mixture crowd. So you need to look at different alternatives. So the general applications I have run you out through certain, the first few slides, and the quantum science which exists already in Germany and certain Middle East countries and in India. Lot of research is already done. Okay, but the only thing is we are not aware of them. So you can just explore different aspects. Even in decoding even a small shloka would do wonders perhaps. Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, madam, for your excellent keynote lecture, which might have triggered some thought process in the students and faculty also. So with this, we are concluding these sessions. So you can join for lunch. So all the dignitaries of the dais, so I request you to join for the lunch in the boardroom too. Thank you.